Coming up on the 5th to the 15th of June, I'm pleased to say, is the St. Kilda Film Festival. 41st incarnation by the looks of it. And it's my great pleasure to be speaking to the festival director, as always, Richard Sowada. Richard, welcome again to Movie Metropolis.
Thanks so much, Peter. Great to see you.
Great to talk to you about the St. Kilda Film Festival, which of course is a qualifying festival for the Oscars. Tell me about this year's challenges and the record number of submissions you seem to have had.
Well, I don't know if there's been too many challenges, to be honest with you, Peter. Like, it's a real joy to put the festival together. Um, Dealing with the filmmakers, many of them, it's their first film, but dealing with the filmmakers in the way that I do, it's so wonderful to be associated with them. And Paul Harris, who directed the festival before me for 25 years or so, I've been doing it for 5 years. Paul Harris, who directed it for 25 years or so, left it in really, really great condition. It's a very, very well-loved festival. Um, Filmmakers and industry who are part of some of the professional development elements of the festival really get behind it. They really support it. Many of them started their careers at the St. Kilda Film Festival. As you said, it's in its 41st year. So, the community and industry kind of regard for the festival is very, very high. And so it has that really fabulous reputation. Uh, so it's a wonderful job to walk into. Um, it has changed a lot since those days, since 2020 when I took it over. It has expanded, not by virtue of wanting to, you know, uh, being megalomaniacal about it and like build this massive thing. It just kind of naturally took that path. As you say, we received a record number of entries. This year we received around 900, just under, which is it's a record number. So getting the content for the festival is not hard. There's a lot of films. Having said that, like with any film festival, not all the films are good that you get. So you have to go through them. But I take them all seriously, and I absolutely take my hat off to the filmmakers that are prepared to get up and get out and make a movie. It's not easy. So I give them the due respect. But having a slate like that to look at is really fantastic. So the festival traditionally has had a top 100. So there was 100 new Australian short films in the festival. This year there's about 154. And that's again not because I'm particularly wanting to build a huge monolithic thing. It's just that the films were there. And so if you're talking challenges, that wasn't necessarily a challenge either, although looking at nearly 900 movies,
Hmm.
that can that can grind you. There's no question about it. But again, I love the industry. I love the films. I love discovering new works. I love looking at um, was surveying what's going on in the industry, particularly in Australia, which is a reflection of the rest of the world. So I really, really enjoy that. But it's challenging to put together an event kind of as big as this because we're constantly pushing into new ground that is different for the people that deliver the festival. It's different for me, and it's different for audiences too. So there is that risk in putting the festival together. I wouldn't say necessarily that's a challenge, but it is. We're always going a little bit further, which can be. Um, it's not challenging so much, but it can make you think, am I doing the right thing here? Is this right for the festival? Is this right for the audience? And that sort of thing. But so far it has been. So that's the nature of the beast this year. And there's one of the challenges I think for the festival this year is that last year we were at the Alex Theatre in Fitzroy Street, the old George Cinema in Fitzroy Street, St Kilda. That's not available to us this year. It's being sold. And so we moved the festival to where it was before I started in 2020 at the St Kilda Town Hall. So that's a challenge. That's a technical challenge, and it's also an aesthetic challenge as well. Like it's a town hall, it's not the cinema. So we have to literally build a cinema in that space and really think about the context of the screening, um, exhibition context, the way the films are viewed,
Mm.
and the experience for the audience. So that's been quite a big challenge. But having said that, I started my career working in non-cinema spaces, in showing movies in bars and clubs like the RSL Club in St Kilda and the Prince of Wales Hotel. I showed movies there.
Mm.
And in Western Australia, I showed movies, a lot of movies in a lot of pubs. And bumping around, my old car with a PA in the boot and a screen hanging out the window and all that. So I'm kind of used to that, and I really, really enjoy doing that. So yeah, so that is a challenge, but it's a fun challenge.
Okay, all sounds great. And of course, this is St Kilda Film Festival is such a celebration of short film. I wonder if there were any trends. I mean, obviously, digital technology has now democratized filmmaking to a huge extent. But are there any trends in terms of themes, ideas, issues that filmmakers this year perhaps have dealt with?
Well, it's funny you should talk about digital, democratization, because the big trend I was seeing this year is exactly the opposite. That is that so many filmmakers are shooting now on Super 8 and 16 millimeter.
Ah,
Uh, and that was a real surprise because last year there was a couple, and there usually is, like especially with music videos and that sort of thing. It's that nostalgic look and that fantastic color, and the 4:3 frame, the Academy ratio, whatever it's called.
yeah.
Is really great, and it's so evocative and got such a wonderful texture in the grain and everything like that. This year we've probably got about 12 Super 8 and 16 millimeter film screening in the program. And that might not sound like a lot, but outside of that, of the ones that were entered, we probably had maybe 25 to 30 Super 8, particularly films, come through, and
Wow.
that was a real surprise. And it's interesting with the festival because within the professional development day that we do, the big picture, we have traditionally, since I've been doing it, had a 16 millimeter filmmaking workshop where people learn the science of 16 millimeter cameras and that sort of thing. And then they go out and shoot a film out on the street and then come back and develop it and then show it at the end of the day.
Ah.
And that's pretty amazing. That sells out every time, or gets full every time. It's free. But so we've really championed, that kind of small to medium gauge format. And I'm a 16 millimeter film collector. I've probably got like 12 16 millimeter projectors and maybe 200 16 millimeter films of all kinds. And so I love it and always have. I've started my career doing it. And So it's great to see it back. And, as an aside, I also flip a lot of old, cameras and projectors and that sort of thing that I buy and sell. And as soon as I get a Super 8 camera and list it, it sells straight away to young people. So anyway, so 16 and particularly Super 8 is back in a big way.
Mm.
Uh, that was an interesting thing, but that's a stylistic thing, really. But in terms of thematic, um, there was a lot of films that were dealing with domestic violence and mental health. That's a big thing. It's a big thing in our social conversations. So that's a big thing. Last year it was too, but not as big as what it is this year. And also last year was the best year of First Nations films that I'd seen in the diversity of the films and the subjects, moving right away from kind of the advocacy type documentaries that there was a lot of over the previous years into much more, into comedy, into horror, into straight drama, into coming of age and that sort of thing. So though I think, and this year is the same, and I think, with First Nations films, there's most definitely a maturity in the storytelling. There could be more women making First Nations films without question. But the First Nations films are really have got a maturity that is quite fresh
Mm.
um, to to those filmmakers, which is really great. So we've got having said, there needs to be more women, um, First Nations filmmakers. We've got a First Nations women's strand within the program. And so we've got people coming from Derby in Western Australia. That's right in the middle of nowhere. Coming to the festival. They've got an awesome movie, which will do very well for them around the world, and a few others. So that's a really good thing. But an odd thing, Peter, and it's not necessarily a positive thing, is the amount of smoking in the movies, cigarette smoking. It's phenomenal.
Ah,
Like I'm kind of aware of in feature films the product placement and all that sort of thing. So when I see smoking in a feature film, I'm quite, aware of that kind of nefarious, commercialism. But in short films, there's not that imperative to, but there are so many, like I would probably say 75% of the films that are in the festival or not have got people smoking in them, young people smoking in them. And that was like, wow, every time I put a film on, it's like, they're smoking again. So that kind of doesn't really mean anything aside from a youth culture movement. But it's kind of back to the noir days, really, in many ways.
yeah.
So but I think like always, and it was even before the digital cameras were available to everyone, there is only a certain amount of good films. So the ratio is still the same as
Mm.
to what's in and what's out. There's maybe just more films, but there's not more filmmakers who are looking at the history of cinema to really understand how to make a movie, if that makes sense. So there's still only the same percentage of proficiency in the with filmmakers.
Uh-huh. So interesting to hear all of that. And wow, the smoking one is a real revelation. That's
Oh,
amazing.
it's bizarre. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the youth culture.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so all of these short films will be screened at various times between June 5th and the 15th at St Kilda Town Hall. And opening night is, of course, at the Palais.
It is at the Palais. I was we've since my reign at the film festival over the last 5 years. Two of those years were affected by COVID, so we couldn't really have an opening night. And then when we had the opportunity to go back to the festival's kind of central place. It occupies such a big part of St Kilda, the Palais,
Hmm.
and theatrical history in Melbourne and in Australia. So going into the Palais for the opening night, and before when we were scoping it all out, looking at the logistics and everything like that, I was standing on the stage looking around, going, how the hell did you get here, Rick? What are you doing here? Because it is very intimidating. It's big. It's like nearly
Hmm.
3,000 people,
Yep.
and it's big. And then when we did on the opening night, I went out to have a look at the how the crowd was flowing and all that sort of thing, how far away we were from being able to get it going. And there was like 4 or 5 queues going from the Palais right to Ackland Street, just a mass of people, like over 2,000 people. And, it's like, oh, wow, this is just really impressive. And for a lover of theatrical buildings, not just cinema, as a thing to watch and participate in, but a lover of the buildings, it was a real thrill, and it still is. And it's just it's such a wonderful building, and it for me, like I've done a lot of things in the industry, but being associated with the history in that tiny, tiny way is a real buzz for me. It's like, oh, Rick, this is lots of fun. This is really good. So yeah, the Palais is great.
Great venue, and that's where you also screen on opening night a selection of some of the short films, and you always have a special host.
Yeah, we do. We do. Look, I'm not supposed to announce it or say it because there's some clearances still happening, but I
Ah,
will. It's Charlie Pickering is the MC.
ah,
Uh, yeah. Uh, and so So that will be great. He's perfect for it. He was really happy to do it. It suits he suits us and we suit him. So it's a really good marriage in that respect. And you know he's doing the opening night, and the closing night is being hosted by Sammy J.
Ah,
The closing night awards. He's perfect as well. So that's a really great score for us, both of them, and looking forward to that night very much. But I have to say, the opening night of all the sessions is the hardest to program.
mm,
There are so many people, and I really feel sorry for any film festival director because it's very hard to get right. Fortunately for me, it's not resting on one film. I've got like maybe 10 films, I think, screening at the opening night, and some of them are only like 1 minute long. I think I've got three one minute films, which is perfect. They're over before they start, and it's like people settle down to watch them, and then suddenly it's like, oh, oh, I blinked. So that's really great, and they're lots of fun too. Those real blasters, it's people really like them because I mean, when do you get to see a 1 minute film? You know,
yeah.
it's shorter than a TV commercial almost.
That's terrific. Look, the opening night should be very enjoyable. And you've already mentioned this, but it's great to see that filmmaker development day, which is so important at JMC Academy.
Yeah. Look, that has grown a lot since I've been there, but again, not because I'm wanting to create this monster. I'm always aware, particularly since COVID, and now the Australian film industry is aware of it now too, because of what Trump is doing with tariffs potentially being dangerous to the industry. I'm always aware to not build unsustainable things. These things can evaporate in front of your eyes, but let's take COVID for instance as something where the entire industry just vaporized. So I'm always conscious to keep the festival's heart or feet on the ground and really ground it to community base and build up from there. And if there's a drought, let's call it in the industry, the roots are still firmly, where the water is. And so but with the professional development day, that's really grown. That is at the JMC Academy in South Melbourne, and we've got I think maybe 45 sessions throughout the day and
Mm,
about 80 or 90 speakers from around the industry. And we're covering things, from working with intimacy on screen to the state of film distribution and exhibition. We've got a couple of festival directors and that sort of thing, and distributors talking about the market at the moment, what the market is doing. The filmmakers and industry people that are fresh from Cannes or, Berlin or, you know, Sundance or Toronto and that sort of thing. So they're pretty well in the know. Uh, so uh, so there are things looking at that. There's sessions looking at accessibility and disability in cinema. There's sessions looking at there's performance workshops. There's Panavision is doing a workshop looking at lenses, old and new, and how to get the best out of lenses. There's screenings and Q&As looking at costume design, makeup, editing, camera craft, uh, uh, sound. So there's a lot of things going on. It's all completely free. This is one of the things that I was saying about maintaining the community sensibility of the festival, Peter. It's like really we're not trying to make money. We're just trying to develop careers, develop individuals, and develop interest in the screen industry. So for people and we've got a 16 millimeter filmmaking workshop as well. So for people who are just interested in cinema to see how it works, film lovers like yourself, like me, like anyone, can just come along and just get a taste of what it's like inside the industry. And for people who are wanting to potentially build a career in the sector, whether they're high school level or even younger, I've had experimental films in my other world sent to me from filmmakers and I look at the film and go, oh wow, this is awesome. They're 12. It's like so So something like what we're doing with the big picture is for everybody. It's all completely free, so it's no risk. And it's packed. There's at any one time, there's probably about six workshops or panels or something going on. So it's dense. And I love it. I love seeing the people that come because it's all types. Yeah, we try and deliver a fair punch with it, and it really works. I really enjoy it. It's a big thing to put together. There's a lot of people involved. But like I said at the very beginning, the festival's got such a great reputation that industry people are really, really happy to pitch in and say their bit. So it's very enjoyable. That happens on the 7th of June at the JMC in South Melbourne. And they've got two campuses there. So we occupy both campuses, one on Park Street and one on Bank Street. And then in between them, there is the Backlot Cinema. I don't know if
Mm.
you've been to it's a really funky little joint.
It is. Lots of media previews are now being held there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The sound is great, the picture is great, it's
Yep.
very, very comfortable. So we run screenings like looking at sound. So the films that I consider to really work with sound well, for instance, or costume and art direction, or camera work, or script. So we run like about four screenings there and have the filmmakers talk about their film. So that's a really good day.
Fantastic. It's a really great festival, and you've really curated it well. And as you say, it's your fifth St. Kilda Film Festival now. So well done on that.
Yeah, yeah, thanks, thanks. I was very fortunate to land the job, Peter. Like, it's like I said, Paul Harris had run the festival for 25 years, so there was a he doesn't have big feet, but the boots were big. But the so there was a lot of expectation. I think so maybe it was all my expectation that I put on myself, but yeah, it's a really, really fantastic thing to be associated with. Very, very rewarding.
Excellent stuff. All right, let's talk about website, how people can book sessions, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Look, the program is live. The website is stkildafilmfestival.com.au. I hope I got that right. You'll find
Yes,
it way if I haven't got that right.
it's correct.
Uh, yeah, and so you can buy tickets from there. Like I said, the professional development day is completely free, but you still need to register your interest in the sessions you want to go to. Um, but yeah, so it's the fifth opening night's on the 5th. We run till the 15th at the town hall. We also are doing a screening at the Pride Centre. We're doing a day at the Astor, another cinema which I really love. And we also do a screening at the South Melbourne Market too. We turn the food hall there into a cinema. It looks great. It goes really well. People really go to that. It's really good. And I'm actually secretly between you and me wanting to do it regularly, do screenings regularly there because it really works. So and there's another found space, that I just love working outside of the traditional film environment, which is good for the festival. So yeah, so all the tickets are on sale now. The opening night goes really fast. So if you're wanting to come to that and go to the party, I'd be booking that now. Yeah, yeah, that's the scope of it. But I'm really super happy with it. It's a lot of yeah, there's a lot there, including live bands. We've got a couple of live bands. We've got talks in a lounge that we've built there, a filmmaker lounge and all that. So there's a lot of stuff going on all the time.
Congratulations, Richard. It sounds like another terrific St. Kilda Film Festival. And before I let you go, you know what question is coming up next. Have you seen anything else of late that has impressed you?
Mate, I've just watched 900 short films, and you're asking me if I'm watching anything else.
I
Uh,
know.
you're a demanding fellow. But look, I have to say, I haven't had much time, but the last thing I saw at the movies was
Yep.
that film Novocaine. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
I quite liked it. It hasn't really got very much to it, but I thought like I, I've seen a lot of films of recent times because I review for ABC Radio once a month, and
Yep.
so I go to the movies to review there, and I've seen so much rubbish. And there are so few films being released, and I've seen so much junk. But with Novocaine, and when you see films like that, it's like it knows what it is. It's funny where it's meant to be funny. It's action packed where it's meant to be action packed. It's kind of ridiculous, the premise and that sort of thing, but it knows it. And it looked good. I thought it looked really good. And for me, on a Saturday afternoon, eating popcorn and just putting my feet up on the chair in front of me and just chilling where I don't have to worry about my shopping or cleaning the house or anything like that. It's like, you know what, I like that movie. So, that was the last one I saw of the movies,
Okay.
Peter. So
No, that's fine. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, I agree with you to some extent. I quite liked it too.
yeah.
All right. Look, Richard, great talking to you. We've been speaking to Richard Sowada, who's the festival director of the St. Kilda Film Festival, June 5th to the 15th. And hope it all goes well. And Richard, as always, thanks so much for talking with me.
Oh, it's a real pleasure as always, Peter. Good on you.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
No worries. Bye.